wabarakatuh. Okay, we are from Group 5, and I hope you guys are doing well. And a very good morning. I bid to all of my friends and also our beloved lecturer. So today we will present to you about the topic that we choose, which is bullying among the students. Okay, next. Okay, so this is our group members, which is consists of 4 members. Okay, my name is Hanis Amira binti Ramli, and then sister Nur Nabila binti Muhammad Said, and Siti Rohayu binti Samad, and lastly Nurul Husna binti Muhammad Nasir. Okay, next. Okay, so this is the contents of the research. Okay, the first one is introduction and forms of bullying, signs of bullying, methodology, findings, recommendation, and lastly, we come out with the conclusion. Okay, next. Okay, before we start the presentation, these are the main objective of this study group, which is the first, sorry, not study group, uh, objective of the research. The first one is to identify the causes of bullying among students in school, and then to identify the early signs of bullying, and to emphasize the role of teachers, school, and parents in helping students. The last one is suggestion about the how to prevent bullying among the students. Okay, I think I will pass the presentation to Sister Nabila.
Thank you, Sister Hanis Amira. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Nabila binti Muhammad Said, and I will be presenting about the introduction of the topic. So as we all know, bullying is not a new issue among the community. Instead, it is a common and even one of the most sensational issues that's still happening among our community, especially in the circle of the students. So now let's take a look at the meaning or the definition of bullying. So according to Frey and Obvious, bullying is a label or word often considered as a subset of aggressive behavior distinguished from other forms of aggression because it occurs repeatedly and involves individuals of unequal power. And for your information, bullying is one-sided and does not include one-off incidents or any conflicts between two strangers or between two persons. So bullying happens within social relationship involving repeated and hurtful behaviors that stem from misuse of power. And for your information, bullying is also so rampant among the community and students. Based on the first article or newspaper in this slide, it stated that Malaysia is sixth worst in global cyberbullying ladder in 2021, where our country placed sixth among 28 countries in the Ipsos Global Advisor Cyberbullying Study. And when compared to only Asian countries, Malaysia ranked second most aggressive country for cyberbullying, which is behind India. And the second newspaper indicated the survey in 2018 that found 8 out of 10 Malaysian children has involved in bullying or possibly involved in bullying directly or indirectly. And 64% of 2,000 children below the age of 18 surveyed confided that they have participated or possibly participated in acts of bullying. Next slide. Now we move on to the next subtopic, which is types or form of bullying. There are various types of bullying. First of all, physical bullying. Physical bullying involves causing harm to person's body or possessions. This includes fighting that can take the form of hitting, kicking, or any other action that can harm people. And in some cases, physical bullying may also include damage to child's personal property. And the second one is verbal bullying. This is when people use name calling, insults, teasing, verbal intimidation, or even racist remarks to tease and to harass the children. And the third one is social bullying. which targets a child's reputation and social standing. And this encourages others to isolate or to embrace certain children unkindly. And social bullying sometimes can be called as covert bullying because it is often harder to recognize because it happened behind the person's back. And the last one is cyberbullying. Cyberbullying can happen over digital and social mediums. By using technology to harass or to harm other children, cyberbullying includes aggressive or hurtful text messaging, emails, or social media posts. Next slide. Now we will move to the signs of bullying, which is from both sides, the bullies as well as the victim of bullying. So from the aspect of the bullies, they usually get into physical or verbal fights. And this happen because they lack of empathy as well as sympathy to the other person or to the other children. And the second one, having friends who bully others. This is because the teenagers mostly can be influenced easily by their friends, especially those who involved in bullying or has bullied other person. And the next one is they are increasingly aggressive, and this related to their anger management problem, such as they tend to blame or to hurt others verbally or physically. And the fourth one is get sent to the principal office to or to detention frequently, and this happened due to the damage they had done to the victims. And the last one, the bullies views violence in a positive way, such as they view this as a form of entertainment or one of the way for them to express their emotion. Next slide. And not only the bullies, the victims of bullying also showed various symptoms or various signs that they are being bullied. First of all, they usually feeling sick or faking illness, and the reason why they fake their illness is because they want to avoid from going to school, and they also have show symptom that like changes in sleeping pattern and changes in eating habit. Changes in sleeping pattern, for example, having difficulty sleeping or frequent nightmares. And changes in eating habits, like they suddenly skipping their meals or binge eating. And they also have declining grades, loss of interest in schoolwork, or not wanting to go to school. This is because the victims usually suffer from mental illness that will diminish their interest in study. And the next one is feeling of helplessness or decreased self-esteem. Like they tend to be more passive or not sociable in class, as well as at home. And the last one, self-destructive behaviors. They tend to do something that can harm themselves, such as running away from home or talking about suicide due to the stress as well as anxiety they get from getting bullied. That's all from me, and I'll pass the floor to the next presenter. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sister Nabila. Okay, I will move on to the methodology of the research. Okay, next. Okay, so this is the method used in this research, which is we use the qualitative research method, which is we having an in-depth interview with one of the skilled and qualified counselor in this field. And she also had experience in dealing with bullying cases in school. And we interview her using the Google Meet, and then the teacher that we use in this interview is to collect the real facts in the research of the issue of bullying that happened among the students in school. And this method aims to obtain data and also information to be analyzed. And the language used in the interview is Malay language. So beside, we can see that there is a background of the interviewee, which is her name is Mrs. Nur Ashikin, and she is a counseling teacher in Chinese secondary school. And she also was a student of guidance and counseling at IUM. Okay, next. So this is the evidence, the picture that we have interview session with her, and this session lasted for about half an hour. Next slide. Okay, so this is the findings. Okay, move on to the findings of the research. Okay, this is what we got from the interview session with the with Mrs. Nur Ashikin. Okay, so the bullying issue that occurs among students in school become the grave crisis, which is the serious crisis day by day that will make the parents and also the community skill worry about this. And these are some of the factors of bullying in school. Okay, so the first one is the background of student, which is the dysfunctional families. Okay, for example, students they were scolded by their parents, or their parents were divorced or run away from home, so they tend to protest at the school. Okay, next is the third point is no, sorry. The second point is the lack of moral or religious education. Okay, so this is the main factors that lead to bullying. For example, parents are busy with their careers or their work, and they have no time to educate or provide their children with religious education, and this will lead to deterioration of moral among the children. Okay, the third one is experience of being bullied before. Okay, the student when they growing up, they tend to bully weaker students and or the new students for revenge. Okay, the fourth one is peer influence. Okay, this is happen when the bully group is a classmate, so bullying activities become easier, and the teenagers nowadays are easily influenced by their friends' behavior, right? Okay, so the last one is influence of the mass media. Okay, mass media nowadays has been a negative influence or negative culture among the teenagers. For example, various genres of films or dramas imported from abroad or Western country that show that display the elements of violence and cruelty, and they tend to follow what is displayed in films and dramas. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, um, according to the respondent, the ways of bullying is different according to age and also the gender. And the male students are more likely to bully others rather than female students. So this is the frequency of bullying by age. Okay, the first one we can see that 10% of students who bully other students are coming from same age and also the same class, and then 7% from the same age and different class, and it is clearly be seen that the highest percentage of the frequency of bullying by age is students from different age and also different class. So the senior students bully new students and lower secondary students. Okay, I think that's all from me. I will pass the presentation to Siti Rohayu. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Hanis Amira. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Siti Rahim Disama. Inshallah, I will continue to the effects of bullying. Next. So as can be seen, there are 5 points that I have attached. So as we know, this case of bullying has had a huge impact on the students or bully victims in the aspect of learning, emotions, social, health, and environment. In terms of learning, lack of focus. So students or bully victims experience disruption in while studying or while they're in the classroom. This is because they may be haunted by fear of threats or any problems from the bullies. Then they often lack of confidence or being inactive in any activities in the school. So this situation will lead to the problem of their absenteeism to school due to being afraid and so on. And this situation will tend to the deterioration of academic achievement, and most chronically, they will drop out of school or stop school as these bullying cases become more prevalent. And then in terms of emotions, these students or the bully victims will having mood instability, and of course they will having depression, and these students often blame themselves, like they ask why I have to face this, or why I can survive this, and so on. And then they will commit suicide. And then this bullying also affect social aspect in among the student, among this student, like this student will having lack of communication skill, they don't know how to interact with others, or they find it hard to trust the people around them, and it will tend to hostility among them. And these students, they prefer to be alone even if not by their will. And these cases also affect the health of the students lah. Like they will having sleep problems, such as can't sleep at night, and then prolonged headaches and colds. And these students will tend to smoke because maybe from them, smoking is the best way to release their stress or the depression. And the last one is this student will going to be crazy or insane because of a lot of depression they having, and so on. And the last part is environment. So if bullying cases are growing, it will continue from generation to generations. This is due to the revenge or imitated or inherited by the juniors. And then the last, it will lead to unstable learning and teaching environment and school activities. Next. So how to deal with bullying issues? So in this section, I will touch on the role of teachers, schools, and parents in dealing with these issues. Next. Okay, let's move to the role of the teachers first. So teachers provide advice and guidance. So they're responsible for providing guidance and advice to these troubled students in a variety of appropriate ways. They also need to provide psychological assistance especially from social and emotional aspects. For instance, they calm students by being positive and use words of inspiration for them so that the student will be motivated lah. And then, yeah, teacher must emphasizing pure moral, positive values, patriotic values, and any other values. And then they responsible to encourage and motivate students with school activities. Like they need to cultivate students' interest to commit such co-curricular activities in school. So the student will be active and they will learn more, be more independent or be more responsible. Next, assist student in making rational decisions, like in giving them any suggestion, deciding anything in their life. And they communicate and bond well. Yes, the teacher must be a good listener for the students. So the students will open their problems and their situation. And the teacher must be a caring and loving person. And the last one is cooperate with parents, like the teachers and the parents of the child discuss together, discuss on how to deal or overcome these cases. Next, move to the role of the schools. Okay, schools, as you can see lah, school can strengthen discipline, establish a close relationship with the school liaison officer like police, hold awareness programs or such as talks, campaigns, so that the student will be more motivated in study and so on, and then provide counseling and guidance, enhance co-curricular activities. And then the role of family. So how family can control these cases lah, these bullying issues. Okay, the family must spend time together, or we call bonding time, and then caring and sharing stories, maybe share suggestion and any experience, so they can be more motivated. And yes, parents must show a good example and be a good model to their children, and then engaging with the child's activities at school so that the children will feel they are being loved and cared by their parents. And parents or siblings can monitor their activities, like get 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 to know where the child wants to go with food and so on lah. And for me, the last part or the last point is more important, which the parents or the family provide religious and moral education to the children. I mean, provide sufficient religious and moral education. Okay. So I think that's all. I will pass it to Sister Husna. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Sister Rahayu. My name is Nur Husna. So now I will move on to the next part, which is a recommendation. As we can see, there are many ways we can prevent or cope this bullying among students. So firstly, we can strengthen religious education and knowledge. As a parent, play an important role in following the teachings of religion in educating children from the cradle with love and wisdom. A wise man said one quote, strike the iron while it's hot. That is exactly what the parents are trying to do now with their precious child. Get the child started with a quality early education to build a strong foundation for the child to develop physically, mentally, socially, and emotionally at all the same time. As a teacher also needs to provide religious or moral education or often observe student behavior and give reprimands or that we call is the teguran through teaching or talks. And the student also needs to know what is the good and bad from the aspect of sin and reward. And lastly, educating student to always take care of behavior and social activities. Next. So for the next is the Parents Teacher Association. PTA or that we call is PIBG also plays a big role because it should be used as a platform to discuss any issue that arise related to the children who attend the school like bullying. As we know that purpose of PIBG is to promote safety and welfare for students. And the PIBG also can hold several programs for students, and all staff should be involved on this issue of bullying in school. Last and but not least, raise awareness. This method, the school also can collaborate with police to prevent or cope this bully such as to adopt, campaign, and so on. And we can also use a social media platform as a campaign to promote this awareness. Next. Lastly, for the conclusion, bullying is wrong. Bullying is never okay, is never cool, is never make you look good by doing it. What I can conclude is that the parents and teachers should play a role in dealing with these cases of bullying to reduce and eliminate the culture of bullying among students either in a day school or dormitories. Besides, the school should not treat this issue as an important issue if not this case become a big problem. And if you are a victim of bullying, please do not be afraid to speak up or share or seek help from your teachers or your parents and who you are comfortable with because prevention is better than cure. I think that's all from us. Thank you for listening and give your attention. Thank you.